So hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to tell you my afternoon routine. My afternoon routine, basically I normally will I did show you my morning routine and the books that I read. So basically my afternoon routine, I basically will have my lunch. After I have had my lunch, then I can shoot a video or so. Then after I've shot a video, so today being a Monday, I'm in our sitting room. I'm in our sitting room. I'm in our sitting room and I was tidying up the place. 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 I was tidying up the place so that it can be at least presentable. So we can go upstairs as I go and also tidy the place upstairs. We can also tidy up this place because it was being washed. As I locked the place, I've locked up the place. Put this in order. So things are in a bit of order. Things are in a bit of order here. So yeah, so it's a bit, things are in a bit of order here. So it looks a bit presentable. So basically, I'm here to give you a story basically. So I'm here to give you a story basically. So my first time in town, that was back in yes, I've been born and raised. I've been born and raised in Kawangware. I've been born and raised in Kawangware. Then we went to Githurai 44. Then we went to Zimmerman, and in Zimmerman, that is where I grew first. And in Zimmerman, we were there for 8 years. Yeah, in Zimmerman, we were there for 8 years. Then later on, later on, we went and lived in a place there next to Jumbo Grill. There in Jumbo Grill, we were once attacked by thieves. We were found, then we were attacked by thieves. But by God's grace, they did not hurt us. But then we were once attacked by thieves. And so that is just by the way to just leave it as it is, but by God's grace they did not harm us. And so I gave you so my first time in town, when I was now going back home, because I was going to school then. I was going to school, that was back in 2019, around May, before I was admitted. I was going to school. Then later on, when I reached Moy Avenue, the neighbors that is in Moy Avenue, I got to be stolen for my phone, because I got to be stolen for my phone. And after they did steal from me my phone, then I came back. Then I told daddy that I had been stolen my phone. Then the second time again, I got lost in town. After getting lost in town, I could not. Then finally, I found someone that did show me that I could come back. Then the other time, I've been stolen for my phone a couple of times when I'm in town. Then the other time I was doing my internship. Then we were going for a shoot somewhere around there in Holy Family Mina Basilica. I thought that in a church you cannot be stolen for, but then to my surprise, I also got stolen again, my phone. I also got stolen again, my phone. Then the other time, now, after getting my phone, the system did crash. Now the last one, the system did crash. Then now finally, my father did tell me that he will give me his, now the one that I'm currently using. He will give me his, the one that I'm currently using. So basically, I've experienced a couple of being stolen, a couple of times being stolen, being done for, all that. So basically, yeah. Then again, to continue the story again, the times that I will get the attacks, you know, this our head has got the brain. Now in the brain there's some nephrons. There are some nephrons that do pass information. There's some nephrons that do pass information. There's some nephrons that do pass some information inside there. So once someone is having an attack, when you are having a cerebral lobo, when you are having any seizures of any type, when someone is having an attack, basically there's an electrical switch that normally happens inside the brain. There's an electrical switch that normally happens inside the brain, and once that switch, it suddenly becomes overwhelmed, it suddenly pushes the nephrons. After it has pushed the nephrons that are inside the brain, after it has pushed them, now you find a person. Probably you are having a conversation with a person. You find the person either down. You find the person either down, or if the person was sleeping, you'll find the person now. You'll find the person now like dizzy, in a form of dizzy. You'll find the person dizzy, and it is just an electrical switch that has just happened, and it's just an abnormal electrical switch that has just happened. So normally we are told that if we are told that if someone is having a seizures or is having epilepsy, for someone that is having epilepsy, that's something that it appears frequently. There's a difference between seizures and epilepsy. For someone that is having epilepsy, they will experience the seizures, but now for them is frequently. For epilepsy, it is frequent in a frequent ways, frequent in a frequent in a frequent ways, in a frequent ways, in a frequent. For seizures, it does not happen every day. For seizures, it does not happen every day. For seizures, so long as you're taking your medicine well and you're not being stressed. For seizures, so long as you're taking your medicine well and you're not being stressed and you keep on and you're sleeping well and you're doing everything well. For seizures, it is rarely do you get it. Rarely do you get it. Rarely do you get it. But for epilepsy, it normally happens frequently. It happens frequently. And there are a lot of people, a few, actually 1% of the population in the world have either seizures or epilepsy. They have either seizures or epilepsy. And we are not understood. We are not understood. Because you might be thinking that you will not get, you will, even if you take your medicine, then you tell yourself that, then you start your day, probably that time you'll get it, you're going to get it. So it is something that for seizures it can happen anytime. But for epilepsy, it happens frequently. So it happens with frequency. So for the people that normally ask me, Melian, do you have epilepsy or what? I tell them it is not that. I have seizures, not epilepsy. But by God's grace, this month I've not experienced any attacks. So thank you to all who pray for me. Thank you to all who pray for me, and thank you for the appreciation that I normally get daily. Thank you for the appreciation that I normally get daily. And seizures can really affect your brain. Seizures and epilepsy, they can really affect your brain. So if someone is experiencing epilepsy, better take the person immediately to the hospital. For someone that is getting a seizures attack, for a person that is getting a seizures attack, for someone that is getting a seizures attack, normally it happens that the person will start feeling some deja vu. You see the way you feel, you start feeling abnormally. You start feeling some abnormal things. Start feeling, you are feeling a bit of abnormal. Sometimes sometimes you start feeling that abnormal. You're feeling abnormal weak. You're starting to feel. You start feeling that you're feeling abnormal. Then you start feeling abnormal. You're feeling abnormal. You start feeling a bit of deja vu. You start feeling as if you're feeling that your head is turning. You're feeling as if your head is turning. you're feeling as if your head is turning. And it applies also to the epilepsy. You start feeling as if your head is turning. As if your head is turning, but your head is not turning. So once you see someone that is having a seizures and they start to feel as if their head is turning, actually be calm and tell the person to stay in the ground, and the person should leave any electrical thing, be it the person was in a phone or the person was in a chair, any electrical thing, remove it from the person. Absolutely, you're going to see the effects. So remove any electrical thing, remove from the person. Remove from the person any electrical thing. Remove from the person. Remove from the person and tell the person now stay calm. The person should be calm. And you, the person that you're seeing, the person is about to experience it, you also need to be also calm. Don't scream or what. Just be calm. Be calm. Also you, be calm. 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 Then you also, if the person is about to experience it, the person will also experience a bit of fever. You start experiencing fever, then you start feeling a bit of sleep deprivation. So the first stage of the seizures, it is a bit different from epilepsy. So first stage of the seizures, number one, first, as the person that you're seeing, be calm. You yourself, be calm. Be calm. The person that you're seeing is experiencing it. Be calm. Be calm. Also you, be calm. If the person falls clearly, if the person falls, clear everything around him or her. Clear everything around him or her. And put the person one side. Put the person one side. And put him or her like this. Put him or her like this. And put him on or her in one side. If any soft object, let the person sleep on the left side. So let the person sleep on the left side. Then you time within the 3 to 5 minutes. If the seizures goes above 5 minutes, now it is your chance to call an ambulance. Now it is your chance to call an ambulance. When you see the seizures is going between after 5 minutes, now it is your chance. You can call an ambulance. Call an ambulance with immediate effect, because it can kill the person if it lasts above 5 minutes. So call an ambulance if it lasts above 5 minutes. Call an ambulance if it lasts above 5 minutes, then yeah. So a lot of people normally ask me, Marianne, how do you get all this? How do you know that you are having them? I normally don't know. In fact, the day that I was hit on the studio, that day I did not know. I did not know anything. In fact, I did not even feel it. That day, I did not even feel it. That day, I did not even feel it. I just felt suddenly that I've been hit on the ground and I've gotten it. I did not even feel it. And I've gotten it. Then, the other time now I was invited by a special person. We were just having a normal conversation. Then suddenly I find myself down. Then suddenly I find myself that I'm with the people that are surrounding me, the people that are saying, tumpatie kiatu, amuke. Tumpatie kiatu, amuke. Tumpatie kiatu, amuke. Then by God's grace, luckily by God's grace, we had the Equity Afia who did do first aid for me, and I woke up. Then after waking up, after waking up, it was all good. Then attacks, I've gotten attacks. Then 2 weeks before that, I was sleeping someplace here. 2 weeks before that, I was sleeping someplace here. And then that day it was that day of Mandamano. And that day I was feeling a bit cold. So I told myself, I was feeling sleep. I was feeling sleepy. So I told myself, let me go and change. And I come and I sleep here. Then I took my phone, I saw my TikTok, then I slept. Suddenly, I find myself down again. So suddenly, I found myself down again. And then by God's grace, my father and my sister were there, so they did a bit of first aid for me. And then they took me to bed, because after you have regained your consciousness, now you start feeling a bit of the fever now starts to come. So I was feeling a bit of that, and then I was feeling also sleepy again. So I went and slept a bit, then I woke up. Then by God's grace, I woke up, I started to feel better. So it normally just happens suddenly. You just find yourself suddenly. You find yourself suddenly. It can be mild. It can be mild. It can be just for some few minutes. Then you are back again. It can happen when you're sleeping. And majority of the times, when you are experiencing it, you find yourself not beating of this. A lot of people think that you're beating of this. No, you find yourself beating your tongue. You bite your tongue, or you bite your lips a couple of times. You bite your tongue or you bite your lips. So when after being admitted for the 3 days, then being given the medicine, I would experience it. I experienced it when I went to Karura Forest. That was back when I was in KIM, the Kenya Institute of Management. I experienced it when we went to Karura. Then later on, I stayed a couple of days, in fact a whole 1 year without it. Then suddenly in 2021, when I was sleeping, I found myself again experiencing it. But by God's grace, Mom and Dad came and they did first aid for me, and I woke up. Then back again in 2021 when I was being plated. Then after being plated, Then I came home. Now coming home, I was told by mom, why don't you go take a shower? Then after you take a shower, you come, you're going to be feeling more fresh. You're going to be feeling more fresh. Then I was like, let me go. Okay, let me just go take the shower. So I went. After taking the shower, to my surprise, I got an attack when I was in my bathroom. After getting an attack when I was in my bathroom, I hit the wall, and it made my eyes to get to be swollen. The two of my eyes, they were swollen. After being swollen, and then now I had to scream so that dad could come and do for me first aid. So it normally happens suddenly. And to my fear is that I do not reach to my 30s or 40s with it. I do not want it. I do not want to reach to my 30s or 40s with it. I do not want that. So for those that pray for me, can pray for me. Keep on praying for me that I do not reach to my 30s with it. I do not want it. I do not want to reach to my 30s with it. Because it is making me to get to fear that when I get pregnant, how will I, and I'm having it, how will it be? When I get pregnant in my future, how will it be? How will it be? Because, and then last night I was hearing a story of an apostle that has been taking his medication for life, and the apostle normally, and those medicines, and the medicine has really affected his kidneys. It has affected his kidneys, it has affected his liver, it has affected his kidneys, his liver. And once he went to the doctor told him that due to the taking of medication, it has really affected a couple of body parts. That's why you find yourself that your legs are also swollen. Your legs are also swollen. So I do not want. So I am also praying for him that he also get to be healed. I'm also praying for him he also get to be healed. So for those that pray for me, keep on praying for me that I do not take this medication for a lifetime. I do not take this medication for a lifetime. And if I'm taking this medication for a lifetime, I do not want this medication to affect my kidneys or the liver, because I know medication can do that. I know medication can do that. I know medication can affect the kidneys and the liver. So for those that pray for me, keep on doing it. And I trust and hope for the better. I trust and hope of the better, and I'm not seeking sympathy from anyone. I'm not seeking sympathy from anyone, because I have now to be the young adult that I am. I have now to be the young adult that I am. I have to be the daughter. I have to be the daughter. I have to be the sister. I have to be the niece. I have to be the aunt. And I have to be the granddaughter. And I have to be the goddaughter. So I'm not seeking any sympathy. I'm just explaining. So you see, you find a person smiling. You find a person smiling, and you do not know what the person is experiencing. So let's not despise anybody, even in their humble beginnings. Don't despise anyone, because you never know what the person is going through, and you never know what the future is. And you never know what the future is. You never know what the future is. And instead of hearing what the internet is saying, you better go and listen to the story of the person. Because a lot, I normally see a couple of things being written in this information age. I normally see a couple of things being written in this information age. Then I'm like, okay, why are you writing this? Why don't you just go and ask the person the story behind it? Why don't you just go and ask the person the story behind it? So instead of writing or talking or what, just keep quiet. And the gospel minister, Mama Diongo, did not do a mistake when she wrote a song that she was saying, umbea umbea kati ya Wakristo bana unasambaa, umbea umbea kati ya Wakristo mbona unasambaa. So she was basically saying, why is gospel? Why is gossip? Why are Christians gossiping amongst themselves? So it is better, if you are a Christian, be a true Christian. Don't be a sheep in a sheep's clothing. Because remember, there is this word in the Bible that normally tells us that He knows His people. He knows His people. He knows His people, and those. He knows His people. He knows His people. He knows His people. So it is better, instead of gossiping, you better just say, there is the negative gossip and there is a positive gossip. So it is better you spread the positive gossip rather than you tarnish the names of someone. So remember to watch, like, comment, share and subscribe, for a lot more is coming.